everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am the Jess and Sunday Jess, and today I wanted to do a video about talking all about patriarchal blessings. A girl wrote me asking for my tips and advice when it comes to reading and understanding your patriarchal blessing better, and so I dug up all of my favorite tips and tricks about that I learned on my mission and have just learned through the 10 years of having my own patriarchal blessing. So, first off, now patriarchal blessings, if you guys don't know what that is, I encourage you to look up in the True to the Faith book what that is. You can figure it out if you don't even know what that is. This is more of an in-depth video for those who already know what a patriarchal blessing is. So, when should you get your patriarchal blessing? Now, I got my blessing when I was 14. Personally, like, looking back now, I wish I would have waited a little bit longer. At the time, I felt super ready and really wanted it, but I wish I would have waited just a little bit longer, where I kind of appreciated it a little bit more and, I don't know, kind of valued some of the things more, because it talks about your whole life. Whenever you feel that you're ready, whenever your bishop feels that you're ready to get your patriarchal blessing, do it. So once you already have your patriarchal blessing, a couple cool things that I have seen and done with my own patriarchal blessing to be able to use it every day and to keep it in places that I'm reading it and things like that. First of all, I was on Pinterest a few years ago, and I remember I found this cool template where this lady created for free this template that you could plug in your patriarchal blessing, so it's like a book of scripture. So I have my patriarchal blessing here. You can see it says the Book of Jesse. Basically, turning your patriarchal blessing into scripture is a really great way to really look at it as scripture. So I typed out my patriarchal blessing from the original document and then plugged it into this lady's template and then printed it out myself, and there's a couple different pages of it. So it's just like you're reading actual scripture. It takes each sentence and divides it into a verse, and then you can make notes on it. I just glued it right into my scriptures, so that way then I had it at church. These were my mission scriptures, so that way I could read it whenever I was like on a bus somewhere on my mission or whatever. This was super great, so love that idea. I will hopefully try to find that original template from the description bar below, and you can have your very own personalized book of scripture, because that's what a patriarchal blessing is. So then going off of that as well, another thing that I've done to really maximize the use of my patriarchal blessing, so when I typed it up, I minimized the font like super tiny and made it like a 3x5 card. I printed it out on, and then I laminated it, just like with tape, I'm pretty sure. And then I always keep that little 3x5 card in my pocket when I'm at the temple. So when I go to the celestial room, or even when I was younger and I was just doing baptisms for the dead, when I had kind of some alone time in the temple when I was waiting for other kids while they were being baptized, or now when I'm in the celestial room, I can just pull that out of my pocket and I can read my patriarchal blessing right then and there. And it's a really cool experience to do when you do so when you're in the temple, because, you know, you're feeling the spirit that much more, you're a lot more open to inspiration, and I love that. So it's another great way to use your patriarchal blessing. Now, moving on to studying it. So another great resource that I found was actually from one of my companions in my mission. She had this really cool paper that explained how to use your patriarchal blessing. So I'm going to read it for you guys, because I ended up just copying it down her paper since I gave it back to her. But it says, your patriarchal blessing is your own personal scripture from the Lord. It is a priceless tool that you should not hide away and never use. Here are some ideas on how to use your patriarchal blessing. Make a copy of your blessing. Step 2, get 3 colored pens for marking. And number 3, underline words or any phrases using the following key. So the key in this document went as follows. Color number 1, counsel and warnings. Color number 2, descriptions about you. And color number 3, gifts and talents. So I took that copy of my patriarchal blessing and went through with the 3 colors and ended up with this lovely rainbow. And it's really cool because it helps you divide out your patriarchal blessing and see, okay, you know, these are my gifts and talents. These are things I should be aware of. And so that's really neat as well. Hopefully I can find the document and also have that down below. If not, I'll have this written out in the description box below as well. Then step 4, on a separate paper, make a list for every color group of all the words and phrases you marked. Step 5, look up the words in the scriptures to understand how the Lord uses them. And I will go off of that here in a second on another tactic. Step 6, use the list of warnings to create goals and do what you've been counseled to do. Step 7, put your lists and goals in your scriptures. Step 8, read them every night and then return and report to the Lord in prayer at the end of your day. As you do this, 2 things will happen. 1, you will come to know how much the Lord loves you, and 2, you will know where to go for help and what to do each day. Your patriarchal blessing is your own Liahona. So I love that, and so like I said, I went ahead and I did that. Now when it comes to studying it with scripture and church talks and things like that, what I did was kind of bouncing off of this document, when it says like, you know, mark words and phrases and then study those in the scriptures, one of the phrases that's in my Patriarchal Blessing a lot is loving my fellow travelers. So one day as I was reading in the Leahona magazine on my mission, I found a talk from April 2015 by Elder Waddell that talks about loving your fellow travelers. And I thought that was really cool, and it talks about how you can seek for your fellow travelers, how you can act and actually help them. And I thought that was really neat, because then it kind of brought one part of my Patriarchal Blessing like full circle, and that was a really cool way to study it. So, you know, take those phrases and those words from your blessing, type them into LDS.org, look them up in the Bible dictionary, and you know, you can study your Patriarchal Blessing a lot more that way. So those are my tips and tricks for Patriarchal Blessings. There's not a whole lot, but I'm sure you can probably find more online. I haven't done a whole ton of research myself lately, but this is the stuff that I found on my mission and that I have really loved and been using for years. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well, and hopefully you can use it in your life. Anything that I mentioned, I will hopefully be able to link in the description box below, and you guys can print it out, you can use it, and you can share it with people around you, whether you're giving a lesson about Patriarchal Blessings or just sharing it with your family. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe down below for more modest fashion, more sister missionary prep, more just gospel topics in general. I would love to talk about whatever you guys want to hear about, so leave your video ideas in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!